Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, August the 21st. Mel Zelenak is with us today, our consumer and travel expert. Today, we're going to deal mainly with travel and consumer tips, right?
We are. We're going to deal with those first. And, Paul, we haven't worked with question and answer in a while, and I really enjoy doing that. I think you do as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you some questions. You don't know any of the questions yet.
No,
I just want to tell the audience.
Right. And there's no prize involved with this. It just make me look stupid if I don't know the answers.
No.
All right. What are there?
Paul, you have a confirmed reservation for a 3 p.m. flight from Fort Lauderdale to Columbia.
Okay.
You receive an email indicating that you no longer have that flight, even though you have the confirmation, and now your flight is leaving at 8:30 in the morning. The problem is you really can't make that flight. Do you have any remedies? Is the airline allowed to even do that? You have a confirmed reservation.
Right.
You've paid for it.
Yeah, you've got remedies. I think you can ask them to rebook you on another flight that is leaving around that same time to get you back to Columbia. If you have to spend the night, and if it was a mechanical failure, they pay for your hotel accommodations, or you could just simply ask for your money back.
Wow.
Isn't that right?
You're exactly right. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And you know what? Because it's happened. It's happened to me, Mel. It's happened to me. And usually they're pretty good in taking care of you if that happens.
And what you said was perfect as well. If it's not a mechanical problem and they change your flight, we had the same situation, exact same situation, and in our case they gave us a hotel room overnight and they brought us back in the next day.
Yeah,
which was fine with.
And they'll give you
us.
the meal vouchers too.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so I did okay on that one.
You did great. Question number 2 is a little more difficult. Paul, you want to travel to Barcelona on a cruise, but you have to get to Barcelona. And the travel agent indicates that they check the airfare from Colombia to Barcelona, and a one-way ticket per person is about $3,000.
Okay.
You can't do that. That costs more than the cruise itself.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts there, what you can do? Do you have any options, you think?
You said a one-way ticket, right?
One-way ticket.
Okay, look at the round trip. Look at the round trip fare, because sometimes round trip is less expensive than one way.
Okay, that I will tell you, in this case, that wasn't the case.
That was not the case. You got me stumped.
Well, you can go out of St. Louis.
Oh, yeah, you can go out of St. Louis or Kansas City, but I'd like to fly out of Columbia. I mean, why would you not fly out of Columbia when we've got free parking? We've got the whole shebang out there.
Free parking for $3,000.
Well, but wait a minute. I got to say, I think most of the time Columbia is going to be pretty competitive with St. Louis or Kansas City. Maybe even if it's a little bit higher, you still take into consideration that driving and the parking.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't the case in this specific case. However, did you ever consider either flying out of O'Hare to Barcelona in this example, or Denver to Barcelona?
No, because I've never considered flying to Barcelona, but I guess you could.
Okay.
And that would be cheaper.
Do you know flying from O'Hare, for example, in this example, was a little over $200?
Really?
Yes.
So you could buy a one-way ticket from Columbia to O'Hare, then pick the flight up to Barcelona from O'Hare to Barcelona, and you probably spend maybe $500 altogether instead of $3,000.
Much less than that, actually, in this case. But bingo, that's exactly right. It's incredible. So do check if the flight seems outrageously high out of Columbia. Do check O'Hare. Check if you're flying United, Denver, Dallas, Fort Worth.
And then check the one-way fares from Columbia to those cities.
Yeah, and typically they're going to be anywhere from $150 to $200 in the typical. Okay, good deal. Number 3. A couple want to go on a 7-day cruise in November, but the cost of the cruise is over $3,000, which is too expensive for them. It's only a 7-day cruise. You have friends who paid $1,000 less for the same cruise and cabin type. However, they had a group because there were 8 or 10 of them who went. Is there anything this couple can do? They can't join that group.
Can they call a consolidator and see if they can get a cruise at a lower price through a consolidated ticket?
That's a possibility. Another option, that is a possibility. Another option would be contact a travel agent and see if they're in a consortium. And if they are in a consortium, that just means it's a travel agent with other travel agents.
Books.
There's a strong possibility that you could get into a group with them. You don't have to know anyone in the group at all. And some people believe you have to have 6 or 7 cabins to get a great rate. That's not always the case, especially if you've got some flexibility.
Okay. So ask for a consortium. Maybe you got time for one more, Mel.
Okay, Paul, is travel insurance a good value?
Personally, I've never bought travel insurance, so I would say no. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't know what the answer to that is.
Well, part of the problem with travel insurance, and very often it is somewhat helpful to people, and it can be fairly inexpensive, but part of the problem with it is all the exclusions that are in the contract. I used to say with contracts, the big print gives it to you and the small print takes it away. And that's the case with some of the travel insurance.
So you need to check it. If you're going to buy travel insurance, you need to check out all the fine print, what is excluded, because you may think you're covered, and then it turns out you're not.
And very often you're not. And it may not be a good value for you. Some travel insurance companies are much better than others, however, and you might pay a little bit more, but you probably will be more fully covered than if you just get like a cruise ship insurance.
Okay. No, thank you. I enjoyed this today.
I did too.
We need to do more travel stuff here.
You did very well.
That's why I enjoyed it. All right. I appreciate you coming by, Mel, and we'll see you the next time tomorrow. Oh, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence, you know, where they start figuring things out before we do. If it's something you'd like to hear or see, I'd love to hear from you. Bye-bye.